Family Feud, Ray Combs.
Thank you. Welcome to Family Feud. I'm Ray Combs, and today we have two typical American families battling it out for family honor and the rights to spending money, $10,000 in cash for their relatives. First, let's meet one of our families.
The host of the new Family Feud has committed suicide in California. A Los Angeles radio station quotes an unidentified friend who says Ray Combs hanged himself at the Glendale Adventist Medical Center. The hospital says he died of respiratory failure. Combs was taken to the hospital after falling into his jacuzzi and striking his head. Combs hosted the TV game show from 1988 to 94 and operated two comedy clubs in Cincinnati. Ray Combs was 40 years old.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing today? Sorry about that noise. There is a plane or something going over, probably to Bob Hope Airport over in Burbank. I'm in Glendale, California, Hollywood adjacent. You can see, well, can you see the mountains? They're right, yeah, there. So we're kind of right over the hills from Hollywood. It's Griffith Park and all that right there. Glendale, quiet little suburb, not too far from the hustle and bustle of Hollywood, but it's a little low key here, a little chill. And I started a video in Ohio, a few months ago, which is the ending of this video. So I've already done the end of the video. I filmed that first because I was anticipating filming this part. And what is that sun? It's getting late in the day. So I've already visited the grave of Ray Combs. You're going to see that at the end of this video. Right now I'm on the street where he lived with his family in the 90s. And I'm going to talk to you about Ray Combs. You remember Ray Combs? Now, we all know Family Feud, the TV show, right? We all know Richard Dawson as the host of Family Feud. But for a certain generation, also Ray Combs was the guy, the host of Family Feud. And it would be on after school, it would be on, there's a daytime version and a nighttime version. He was hugely successful. He ran for about 5 or 6 years with him as the host. And he was really good. He's really funny. He was a stand-up comic. That's how he got his start. And he was actually, so he's from Ohio, Ray Combs. And he was a furniture salesman, I believe, in Indianapolis. And then he wrote a letter to David Letterman saying, how can I get big in comedy? What can I do? And David Letterman encouraged him. To seek out a career in comedy. He said he was funny. So he packed up the family, moved to Los Angeles. Now we're going to walk a little bit down further to his house. And I'm going to tell you more about Ray Combs' life, his career. In terms of the life part, it gets sad. It does. Let's walk over there now. I'm just going to cross the street so I get some good shots. So, yeah, like I said, he moved his family from Indianapolis. He got a start, though, in Cincinnati doing comedy. But then he was in a competition with about 200 other young comedians, and he began doing, and he, so just wanted to cross here. There's a lot of dogs in that window. Barking at me. Oh, I'm actually right in front of his house right now. I was walking too far. And his house is right here. That is the home of Ray Combs. Was, I should say. Really cool looking house here in Glendale. We'll walk back up. I'm just going to keep walking while I talk about his career. So when he moved to Los Angeles, he did well in a competition with 200 other comedians. And he began doing audience warm-ups for NBC shows such as Golden Girls, Facts of Life, and Amen. And he was so popular as a warm-up host that other sitcoms moved their production schedule around so that he could have them warm up the audience. If you don't know what a warm-up is, like in sitcoms and stuff, before the show starts, taping, because it's a long taping, so they got to get someone out there to hype it up for a good, because you're there for 3-4 hours watching a 30-minute sitcom, well, 22-minute sitcom being taped. So you got to have somebody to keep it going. And Ray Combs was the guy. He was the one. So Johnny Carson heard all about him, and then he invited him on the Tonight Show, and he got a standing ovation on his first time. So that's a pretty huge deal. So then he got Family Feud, and Family Feud was very, very successful with Ray Combs as the host. It was kind of like a reboot. It was, back then, we didn't call them reboots, but it was a reboot. And Family Feud did really well. It was about 5 or 6 years. Like I said, they had a daytime version and a nighttime version with Ray Combs hosting. Now, he was afraid of being typecast, so he told his agent, please get me other parts. And he was getting small parts, but nothing, you know, nothing could eclipse the fact that he was the host of Family Feud, which, you know, just didn't make him happy, I'm guessing. So in 1992, when the ratings began to plummet, the producer decided to fire him and bring back Richard Dawson. And by all accounts, from what I've heard, Ray Combs was really, really hurt by his dismissal from the show. So right around 1994, he got into a car accident, sustained an injury to his spinal discs, which left him in severe and continuous pain. He had 2 comedy clubs, Caddy Combs and the Cincinnati Comedy Connection, and they were he's having financial problems because they were not doing well. And then his home in Hamilton, Ohio, where the cemetery is, went into foreclosure. And then in September of 1995, he separated from his wife Debbie of 18 years. They had 6 children. They attempted to reconcile, but they later filed for divorce. He had a pilot for a talk show called The Ray Combs Show, but it was not picked up. Then he hosted a show called Family Challenge on the Family Channel. And he was like kind of a fixture on the Game Show Network every now and again, but his career was kind of not going the way he wanted it to go. So it was June 1st, 1996. Police were called to this home here over reports of a disturbance. Apparently, Ray had destroyed most of the inside of his house and been banging his head against the walls, though he later claimed to police that he had just fallen in the jacuzzi. So his wife arrived, Debbie, his estranged wife, and informed him that Combs was suicidal and had spent the previous week in the hospital for a suicide attempt. And then he was taken to Glendale Adventist Medical Center, and that's where we're going to go next. It's about a 15-minute drive from here. So yeah, that's Ray Combs' house right there. So the police were called to this house, and he was taken away. So I'm right outside of the Glendale Medical Center. I showed you a couple of shots. I've actually got a good shot right here now that I'm parked across the street. As you can imagine, you can't really park in the emergency area of a hospital. And this is a particularly big complex. I was driving around for a while. But yeah, here we are. So Ray Combs was brought here and he was assessed by a medical doctor. He was placed under a 72-hour psychiatric observation hold. Then June 2nd, 1996, it was early in the morning. I think it was like around 4 in the morning. Some people working, like hospital workers, found him hanging by sheets from his bed in the closet of his room. He was taken to the emergency room and he was pronounced dead upon arrival. So right here. And his death was a suicide. So I was thinking a lot about about Ray Combs and stuff leading up to his death. And when somebody takes their own life, you know that they're under extreme mental distress and duress, and it's unfathomable to so many people. And I was thinking, was it because of the collapse of his marriage and his career and the financial problems and the pain from the car accident? Had he felt suicidal his whole life? Is something that snapped in the week leading up to it? Or is it something that he possibly his whole life he struggled with? Obviously, when it comes to taking your own life, there is severe mental health issues involved. And that's if it's over a long period of time, if it's a short period of time. I'm no expert, of course. I'm just thinking out loud about, did he just see that is the only way out? And how many people that take their own lives do they think, if that's the only way? or if it's just a one episode, one moment where you just decide to do it, and then, you know, you realize some of these problems could be solved, but in the moment you don't think they can be. You think of the dissolution of your marriage and finances. I'm not sure. But it's sad when anyone resorts to that. And as I've stated before, and I've covered cases like this, there's always help. There's always help available as someone to talk to. Yeah. Some people, though, it's the only way out for them they see, but it's not. It's not. Now we're going to take this video, and I'm going to be in Ohio next time you see me. Right now, we're going to switch to visiting Ray Combs' final resting place in Hamilton, Ohio. Let's go. So right here, section 14, come all the way to the back of the cemetery. There's two entrances on either side of the street, the main street that runs through here, and just go to the one on the right. It'll direct you. And you're going to come right back here behind these monuments, right here at the corner, section 14, section 17, right across the street. And Raymond Neil Combs Jr. is right here, right near his parents. Beloved son, brother, and father, Raymond Neil Combs Jr., April 3rd, 1956, June 2nd, 1996. Always loved, never forgotten. And you can see his parents are right here. Thomas Combs, Raymond Neil Combs Sr. So this is two headstones for his father. This one that he shares with Ray's father, has one with his mother, and then a separate one there. And then Thomas Combs, 1959 to 2010, Ray's brother, who looks exactly like him. Combs Seniors, may all who gaze upon this stone share a love like we have known. Married March 7th or something, 1950 something, it's hard to read, 1953. March 7th, 1953. Anita Jean, Raymond Neil. So there's Ray Combs. The Ray Combs. Wow. There they are. There he is. There he is. Sad ending for such a beloved guy. 6 kids. Yes. Rest in peace to the Combs family, Ray's brother. His parents are buried here. It's a nice cemetery. I can imagine just how brutally cold it gets here in the winter. And lonely feeling. There's no one else out around here. Alright. Rest in peace to the whole Combs family. Peace out.